come home to set us free. Native strength from the stars to our soul. It's worth more than all the gold. Native strength, native strength.
Welcome back to Native Strength. I'm your host, Hyapatia. There are many reasons that people may feel depressed. Some of us are surrounded by toxic people. They demand our energy, but don't give anything back. Some of us are struggling with low self-esteem for one reason or another. But one frequently overlooked reason for us to feel unfulfilled and stagnant in our life is because we aren't following our sacred dream. You may have heard me talk in previous episodes about the plan our soul made before we were born. In between lives, we examine our path back home to our Creator. Each life is designed to help us learn specific lessons that will help us to live up to our fullest potential. Each lesson is a gift. Life is a spiral, and once we learn the basics, we move on to more complicated lessons. Think of it as going to school. In our early lives, we learn simple kindergarten and first grade principles. Every year, we graduate to the next grade, expanding on the things we've already learned. So we design our life before we're born to give us everything we will need to complete the next steps on our evolutionary path. Right before we're born, the angel of forgetfulness touches us. We don't remember the plans we made on the other side. We're influenced by our image makers, society, and our personal desires. We usually forget all we had hoped to accomplish. We exchange our goals for those of our caregivers, for what may bring us prestige, or whatever happens to tickle our fancy at the moment. This may make us feel accepted by our image makers or even admired by our peers. But if it isn't what we planned for in this life, something will feel off to us. We won't be in harmony with our inner elders. It will seem like every time something could go wrong, it does. We're out of alignment. To further complicate things, we change as we grow. I've said many times that the only constant in the universe is change. Things will always change. So we may grow out of the need for a particular path or profession. We may find we've progressed to the point where we are ready for a second, third, or even fourth phase in our life. How do we know what we planned before we were born, or if it's time for us to move on? How do we get back on track so things will start falling into place for us? As you might have guessed, there are wheels that can help us with this, tools we can use to examine our life and get us back on track. The Mayans gave us a nice wheel to help us examine our life. On a typical day, a lot of our time is spent making money. Some of us may be entrepreneurs, and it's said that when you own your own business, you're always working. Whether it's a job or a career, a lot of energy is spent on work. If this is a place of frustration, it certainly won't bring you any joy. In fact, Our job can often be one of our biggest sources of discontent. It might seem far-fetched to you right now, but it is possible to be financially stable and fulfill your sacred dream at the same time. I've spoken before of giving away for the pure joy of giving away, helping others or the earth out of the goodness of your heart and expecting nothing back in return. This is different. Today, I'm talking about ways to live your life to your greatest potential and earn money while dancing this dream awake. Now, some of you may have come to expect some sort of crazy pyramid scheme pitch right about now, but that's not what I'm talking about either. We're each born with a unique plan that's best suited for our growth. There are 8 positions around the wheel. Some of us may identify with one of these directions, while others will see themselves reflected in a combination of them. Now, before we get started, I want to point something out. I was taught that we are all basically teachers in one form or another. If you've ever watched a young child with smaller siblings or a doll, you may have noticed their natural inclination to teach what they have learned about the world. This is basic human nature. There are too many things in the universe for us to be able to learn them all, so we naturally gravitate toward the subjects that interest us. Each of these professions or subjects corresponds to a particular gift. When we learn one of the professions, we acquire that gift. When we teach, we are giving that gift to others. My first profession was as a dancer, so naturally I looked for dancers on this wheel. I could have made myself fit in with the musicians and craftspeople in the East. But I see that there is one other direction that could apply, and since most wheels start in the South, that's the direction in which we'll start. The gift of those who sit in the south of this wheel is discipline. This is the direction of our service members and law enforcement officials. Now, you may wonder how a dancer could fit in with this group of people. My background is ballet. We wear a black leotard, ballet pink tights, a belt around the waist, and ballet slippers to class. This is our uniform. Ballet requires strict discipline. Each step has certain hand, head, and eye movements that go with it. At the end of every class, we bow to our teacher, thank her, and give her a round of applause. Most people who haven't taken ballet classes may not see this, but if you have, you understand. There are probably other professions that are not mentioned on this wheel that would apply to certain directions. See if you can think of any to add. The South stands for emotions, trust, and innocence. People who get into law enforcement for pure intentions have an innate desire to protect the innocent. They want to preserve trust and prevent unnecessary trauma. When I think of dancing, we express the emotions of our dance in a very controlled or disciplined way. There's plenty of room for expression and interpretation, but we're confined by our strict adherence to the choreographed steps. And I think this speaks a lot to law enforcement. We're given specific guidelines for airing our grievances and obtaining justice. We can get revenge, but we must follow the legal steps. We have to be disciplined about it. The South also stands for perception. It's easy to see how the perception of one of these officials could stir up a lot of emotions. People often fear the police. If they perceive us as being guilty of some crime, it could ruin our entire life or even end it. Some people are so overwhelmed with emotions when they see someone in uniform that they have an urge to turn and run. If you find yourself on this career path and it's not the one you planned before you were born, this could make you very unhappy. You might find yourself seeing the world in only black and white, thinking of people as guilty and not guilty. You may decide everyone has something to hide and that no one can be trusted. This could affect your whole outlook on life. This could cloud your perception. And that's why I say people who get into law enforcement for pure intentions want to protect the innocent. There are others who are basically just bullies with a badge. When they start to believe that everyone is guilty, they should no longer be in that job. Doctors, healers, and therapists sit in the southwest of this wheel. On the wheel of life, the southwest stands for interpretations. They interpret our symptoms and try to place us on a path to better health. You'll notice that actors and actresses are also in the Southwest. They mimic the ways in which we behave, and this helps us to see the folly of our ways and our errors in judgment. It's easier to examine our behavior when it isn't so personal. When we see someone on a stage or screen act in a certain way, it can be obvious when they're being selfish or stubborn. It's not nearly as easy to see when it's our own behavior. So, in this way, they help us to interpret our actions as being wise and mature or unhealthy and foolish. People who get into these professions are often interested in human behavior and solving puzzles. They enjoy delving into the mysteries of life and finding new ways of looking at things. Their gift is medicine. I'd like to take a minute to examine the word medicine. In the predominant culture, it has to do with pharmaceutical cures for diseases. In my culture, it has a different meaning. You may have noticed I have a playlist called Medicine Stories on my YouTube channel. These are similar to fables or parables. They're teaching stories that hold wisdom or medicine. So in my culture, medicine is wisdom. Anything that grows corn for you, anything that provides you with comfort or knowledge. That's what I mean when I say those who have careers in the Southwest gift us with medicine. They provide comfort and knowledge that we can use to make our life easier. Laborers like farmers, carpenters, mechanics, and such sit in the West. The West is the place of the physical world and introspection. These people have a special ability to see how things could be improved upon. They understand the physics behind their particular skill. As I've said, we are all basically trying to improve the world and then teach those skills to others. Those who sit in the West have the gift of intuition. They use this to imagine different ways of doing things. Inventors would also sit in the West. Many people may perceive what these people do to be magical. The way they come up with new ideas and machines, their ability to imagine the unforeseen with their unique thought processes, seems almost miraculous to those who don't possess such gifts. It's almost as if they tap into some unforeseen source of knowledge. And my teachers would say that this is exactly what has happened. They've listened to their inner elders and silenced the conventional limitations of what they've been taught by their image makers to find a deeper understanding of the world. This is an ability we can all develop. These people give us the gift of magic. When I say magic, I'm not referring to tricks that seem impossible. I'm talking about making a previously unknown principle commonplace. For example, before people understood electricity and magnets, they were thought of as magical. Humans have a tendency to call anything they don't understand magic. The people who sit in the West bring things like this into our common understanding. The Northwest is the direction of planning. Businessmen and women sit in the Northwest along with lawyers, judges, and politicians. These people are always thinking about the future. We hope they are focused on manifesting a better future for everyone, but all too often it's more about securing their own power and fame. Many business people start with an idea to make the world a better place. This is also frequently the original motivating factor for many involved in politics and law. But far too many are quickly sidetracked by greed. It can be said that each of these vocations around the wheel has positive and negative attributes, ways in which they can be used for good or evil. The gift of those who sit in the Northwest is universal law. This is quite different from man's law. Quite often, the two are diametrically opposed. Just because something is right doesn't mean it's legal. And just because something is legal doesn't make it right. Those who are dancing in the light in the Northwest work hard to make sure that the two are in alignment. The philosophers, scientists, and teachers sit in the North. When they have a preconceived agenda and are not open to the true facts as they reveal themselves, they're not dancing in the light. Many scientists and teachers have ignored proven facts to force their beliefs onto others. When teachers decide to teach certain facts and ignore others, they're choosing the dark. It's one thing to express one's opinion and clearly state it as such. It's quite another to manipulate data to force others to believe as you do. I've done many videos under my Random Ramblings playlist on my YouTube channel about many of the fake facts we were taught as children. When it comes to Native Americans, there seems to be no end to them. For example, we are not the lost tribes of Israel. We were here before those tribes got lost. This land was not empty or infested with bloodthirsty savages when the Pilgrims came. There were over 500 nations with trade routes all over the country to major cities. Cahokia, which is across the river from modern-day St. Louis, was known for its exquisite copper work, and I could go on. Those who are willing to change their mind as new evidence is discovered and admit that they were wrong are dancing in the light. The gift of those who sit in the North is awareness. They're aware that they were wrong and are not driven by ego. They want to share true awareness. The Northeast stands for timing. The people who sit in this direction may be hard to understand. They can be clowns, tricksters, contraries, bums, tramps, or the impeccable warrior. There's a fine line between these. Today's contrary or clown may be tomorrow's genius. It's a matter of timing. Many who were thought of as insane or outcast by their contemporaries, only to be honored and revered later, were said to be ahead of their time. The times they lived in were not ready for their wisdom. Their gift is design. They give us a design of a future we could aspire to. They make us question our traditions. Some may seem highly offensive. They desecrate what our elders may have considered sacred. But when we examine these old ways with an open heart, we see the fallacy of our past ways. We begin to understand what the contrary or trickster is trying to show us. For example, one of my teachers said that my former career as an actress was of this direction. I was put on this path to show the folly and hypocrisy surrounding sexuality in our culture. For example, if sex is sacred and we should all remain virgins until marriage, a rape victim is justified in committing suicide, and rapists should be put to death. But we tell survivors there's a statute of limitations beyond which the criminal cannot be charged, and we tell them that they should go on living. This is quite a hypocrisy. Artists, musicians, and skilled craftspeople sit in the East. The East is the direction of enlightenment. Many of these types of people have attributed their gifts to a personal muse, a higher being who whispers in their ear or accompanies them as they craft their art. It could be said that these are angels sent by God or the guidance of their inner elders. Their gift is beauty. They share their art with the world, giving us beauty. They reflect the beauty they've seen that we may have overlooked, and they draw our attention away from things with which we may have become obsessed. They show us a better way. By taking our mind off of our compulsions and showing us the beauty they have created, they have given us enlightenment. The Southeast is the direction of attitude and approach. Priests, nuns, monks, and medicine men and women sit in this direction. They conquer their own inner bully first, refining their character and gaining a deeper understanding of their purpose in life. Then they actively share what they have learned, trying to help others on their own individual path to enlightenment. Their gift is peace. When we find our true path in life, even as it changes over time, we find our own inner peace. This is such a difficult task that it may take the vast majority of our lifetime to accomplish. Once found, though, we realize that there is no greater reward. Inner peace means that no matter what happens, you can still center yourself. You can still make it work for you, and you know it will be all right, one way or another. You can't be pushed off course by any external event. You are indomitable. It doesn't mean that you will no longer be sad or experience grief. It just means that you know you don't need anyone or anything. You will be just fine, all on your own. There is no person or substance that controls your world. Your mind controls your world. Whatever comes along to rock your boat, you're able to steady it on your own in a fairly short amount of time. Your mind is your greatest resource, and it tells you how to either fix the problem at hand or find a trusted professional for the job. Peace means that you are always comforted by your inner elders when needed. It means that your inner children are happy and content, learning and exploring. It means your inner adults are taking care of business, but not beating you up over the past or things you can't control. Peace means you don't need your loved ones to act in a certain way to show the world what a great role model you are, or to give you their approval in order to satisfy your self-esteem. It all comes from within. I hope this episode of Native Strength has been enlightening and helpful to you. Thank you very much for watching.
It's in you, it's in me. Gift from all to set us free. Native strength from the stars to our soul. It's worth more than all the gold.